Ahead on American Sunrise, as the government continues to be shut down, more federal workers are missing full paychecks. In the meantime, President Trump is headed to Asia and he's ordering radio silence with Canada. We'll take you to the White House to explore all of these storylines that are playing out at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Plus, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in Israel, showing the Trump administration's continued and long-term commitment to the Israel-Hamas peace deal. Updates on how things are going throughout the show. And then later, the woke crackdown at the Department of War hits a speed bump. Ahead, the legal challenges that could become the proverbial grenade in the foxhole. Those stories and so much more as American Sunrise starts right now.
Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
We have breaking news to share with you.
politics,
President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
we've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrence.
And I'm Dr. Gina.
TGIF, and thank God it's Friday. Good morning, everyone. Terrence Bates here in your Real America's Voice newsroom in the Denver studio. Let's bring in David Brody. He's in Washington, D.C. Emily Finn. She's filling in for Dr. Gina. Good morning, lady and gentlemen. Emily, I apologize that I always have to be so Emily Finn because I want to say Flynn, but I know you're not our Huckleberry, so I will just say Emily Finn.
It just
Good
feels like
morning,
there
you
should
guys.
be an L in there. No, I get it, Terrence. I
It
get it.
does.
Dr. Gina does the same thing. I appreciate the emphasis on the pronunciation.
Absolutely. Hey, guys, so look, I mentioned earlier that there's radio silence between President Trump and Canada right now. He's out with this Truth Social post writing, they only did this to interfere with the decision of the U.S. Supreme Court and other courts. Tariffs are very important to the national security and economy of the USA. Based on their egregious behavior, all trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DJT. I kept that last part in for you, David, because I know you really appreciate when he ends this. All of this has to do with an advertisement, basically, that the guy who generally, I guess, would be described as the governor of Ontario, if I'm not mistaken, put out, basically using the likeness and voices of Ronald Reagan criticizing tariffs, even though that's not necessarily how he meant to say it. So a lot going on, but I think the long and short of this, President Trump saying, Canada, screw you.
Yeah. Basically, you know, they took Reagan's comments out of context for sure. And yeah, you said Trump saying screw you. Yeah, it's basically another notch or a way of doing the art of the deal, which is, you know what? You got to know when to fold them. You got to know when to hold them, kind of the Kenny Rogers deal. And you also need to know when to walk away. That's what Kenny Rogers said. Why am I quoting Kenny Rogers so much today? Anyhow, the point is that Trump is walking away saying, you know what? I'm not playing games. You know, don't be starting that $75 million, by the way, advertising campaign that they did with Reagan's quotes being taken out of context. So you're going to play that game. I'm out. And once again, Emily, it's a negotiating ploy. And, you know, one thing you don't do with President Trump is you try to play him. He's going to have the last word.
Absolutely. This is certainly negotiating tactics here, David. But I will say, I think the governor of Ontario should just apologize. I mean, if he was in the wrong and it's very clearly that this was taken out of context, just apologize and move on and get these talks back going again. I don't know. That's what I would do, at least. All right. I think it is time to...
That's what most reasonable people would do, Emily. You're right.
Sure. I think it is time to check out today's Bible verse. It is from Genesis 2, verses 2 through 3. And on the seventh day, God ended his work, which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work, which he had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because in it he rested from all his work, which God had created and made. All right, the government shutdown, currently the second longest in our nation's history, has already led to a variety of disruptions. The debate over health insurance subsidies has taken center stage as lawmakers continue to spar over the budget. Joining us now to make sense of all of this is former Trump economic advisor and co-author of The Trump Economic Miracle, Stephen Moore. Good morning, Stephen. Thank you so much for being with us. You wrote you co-wrote a piece rather with David Simon yesterday talking about rising healthcare costs. Tell us about what you're seeing and why insurance rates are set to skyrocket.
Well, great to be with you guys. So the real loser in this whole debate about what's going on in healthcare and the government shutdown, people have to realize this goes all the way back 15 years ago to the day that Barack Obama signed Obamacare. Remember that? And do you remember what
Yeah.
Obamacare was called? It was called the Affordable Care Act, which looks like a joke today. And one of the reasons that healthcare costs have exploded since then is because of all these government subsidies. And so we have to get rid of Obamacare. We have to repeal it. The Democrats lied in every aspect of what Obamacare would do. It has not made healthcare more affordable. By the way, this year, healthcare premiums are expected to go up by another 8, 9, 10%. So it's become completely unaffordable to Americans. And I think that's why the Republicans cannot cave in on this fight. They have to stick to their guns. We've got to cut some of these expenditures because they're bankrupting our country.
All right, so you open the door, Steve. I'm going to walk right through it. $38 trillion. I'm just going to leave that number on the table. That's where our national debt is right now. And I wanted to ask specifically about that, but I'm going to kind of throw a caveat in because I know in the past you haven't necessarily been the biggest proponent of tariffs, but President Trump has said that he's going to try to use tariffs as a way to try to pay down some of that debt. Do you see that being still a viable option? And where do you stand on tariffs today as opposed to when we talked, say, a month and a half ago, 2 months ago?
Well, let me just address that first point that you made, which is so critical that we're now at $38 trillion debt. I was thinking of this because I arrived in Washington in 1983, believe it or not. So that's 40 some years ago. And at that time, the national debt was $1 trillion. And we were embarrassed by that as Reaganites, $1 trillion. And now we're at 38 trillion. And that shows you just how much the explosion of government spending and debt that we've seen in this country. And it is a sin, and it is going to be the ruination of this country. And that's why, the Republicans in this government shutdown showdown only want to cut 1.5 trillion out of 80 trillion over the next 10 years. And the Democrats are saying that's too much. I mean, it's absurd. Okay, so on the trade issue, you're right. I don't like tariffs. I am more of a traditional free trader. But I have to say that Trump has done a very good job, as you guys were just discussing, negotiating better deals for the United States, a level playing field, a freer and fairer trade system. And I think in the end of the day, Trump does of course, he's a businessman. He understands the importance of trade, but we just have to get better deals from these countries. And by one, he's doing exactly that.
Yeah, speaking about better deals, he's going to leave tonight to go to Asia. We've got obviously talks with China next week, and of course he's going to Malaysia as well and other Asian countries. What do you expect? What do you want to see in terms of economic cooperation, tariffs, all of that? Like, what are some of the economic goals, if you will, for this trip? And what would you like him to kind of bring home from a bacon standpoint?
The most important thing to me, and I think to Trump as well, is we need to economically isolate China. I don't know if you guys would agree with me on that, but I think that's what Trump wants to do, and I agree with him. I mean, China is very much like Germany circa 1937. It's a very scary situation, the way they're building up their military. They're a hostile nation to peace and prosperity. And we better get India and Korea and all the other countries aligned against them. And I think that's exactly what Trump's strategy is. And I think it's working so far, frankly. But we cannot allow China continue to abuse us with their trade relationship, to build up their military in an aggressive, hostile way. It's a dangerous situation over there.
Yeah.
Stephen, we do want to get your reaction to some good news. It is Friday. We got to end the week with some good news. Recent analysis by AAA shows that gas prices could drop to the $3 mark for the first time in years. What is contributing to falling gas prices right now?
It's a great story, isn't it? And I'm glad you brought this up because, do you all remember when Biden was president and gas hit $5 a gallon? So
yeah, I remember.
this shows that policy matters. And Trump basically came into the White House promising a drill, baby, drill strategy. And that's exactly what we are doing in the United States today. It makes you proud to be an American. Did you guys know we are producing more oil and gas and soon coal than ever before in American history? And, you know, this is simple economics, right? If you increase the supply of something, what happens to its price? It goes down. And so this didn't happen. The point I'm making is this didn't happen by accident. This happened because Trump had a pro-America energy policy that has driven down the price of gasoline. And by the way, what a complete U-turn from the Biden policy. Do you guys remember the first thing Biden did when he got into the office?
Yeah, the Keystone Pipeline, right? Didn't he,
exactly.
Right? Yeah, that's
exactly.
Right.
He kind of paralyzed our ability to produce and distribute energy. So what kind of a pro-energy American energy policy is that? Trump is building the pipelines. We're going to build more facilities. We're going to have more production all over the country. And that has basically what we've done, guys, is we have defanged OPEC. OPEC does not have the pricing power that it once did because we're the number one producer of oil in the world today. And let me just say one quick thing, if I may, that we are now in a similar situation with critical minerals that we were in the 1970s and 80s with oil, where OPEC could put a blade at our neck and put an embargo on us, and they could throw us into a recession. And the reason I bring that up is Trump is also pro-mining. We have to start mining again in this country. We have a report at Unleash Prosperity. People can look it up. It's by one of the top geologists in the world. And he estimates that we have, are you ready for this? $12 trillion of critical precious minerals right beneath our feet in the mountains of Utah and the Dakotas and Colorado. My God, why do we have to be dependent on China and Russia for resources when we have them a huge treasure chest right underneath us?
Stephen Moore, thank you so much for your time this morning. That was a shot of energy talking with you. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for waking up early with us.
See you guys. Have a great day. Take care.
And Terrence, by the way, you're in Colorado. You better go mining after the show, FYI.
After the show, I'm going in the break. Forget you guys. I gotta get my hand on some of these trillions of dollars under my feet.
All right. Thanks again, Stephen.
Dig in your backyard. You don't know what you've got.
I know. There are lots of jars of dollar bills in the backyard, but that's a whole nother thing, Steve.
All right, coming up,
like
you
a
guys,
news story.
We are going to be checking out the hottest headlines from the RAV newsroom with T. Bates. And later, as President Trump is slated to head to Asia soon, North Korea conducts its first ballistic missile test in months. What should we make of this? We have top analysis soon here on American Sunrise. Stay with us.